Welcome, Facebook family. Good morning to all of you. I hope your morning is going as well as mine. I thank God for another opportunity to come and share with you this morning. On this beautiful Sunday morning, this is normally the day that I take off, but I figured I would take this opportunity to share with you a few things that I believe that's important about this election. However, I want you to know, as well as those that you will share with, that God is not a politician. He's not to be injected into political conversations. However, as a public citizen and a person that's working alongside the NAACP with the great chairman, Dr. Derrick Johnson, and his business associate and chairperson, Leon W. Russell, to try and get disenfranchised low-income voters to the polls. This election is very important for a lot of reasons. One, we have a person in office that's very divisive. This person have not did what's required for no Americans. And I know everybody with their own political views will have a different take on this, but this is mine, and this is personal. And this has nothing to do with the church. This has nothing to do with evangelicals. This has nothing to do with anything else other than pure decency and character of the person. I'm coming today to publicly say that I am endorsing former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris for President and Vice President of the United States of America. I believe they are great choices and candidates to get us back to where we need to be. And along with me in pure Republicans from the Lincoln Project, late John McCain's wife, Cindy McCain, she have come out and endorsed Joe Biden, and many other Republicans across the spectrum. We need to get America back fighting for families. We need to get America back united. And I believe that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would do just that. With that being said, I would like to share four distinct principles as to why I believe that the choice for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is a good one. One, let's talk about the coronavirus. Over 9 months ago, we had the first case come to America. And you would think that from that time to now, we would be on a national program to recovery. Well, actually, things have gotten worse. As of this past Friday, we had the highest infection rate of everybody in the whole world for a single day. We had 85,000 people infected Friday. As you hear, I'm on a farm, my cows, they want to be involved in this conversation, so we welcome them to the conversation as well. They see me and they want to eat, so just pay them no mind. Anyway, this coronavirus have been a pandemic that have really taken the United States by storm. We're 4% of the population. We have 20% of the cases for coronavirus. We have more than 227,000 Americans already dead. That's approaching 250,000 of our population over the last 9 months are no longer with us. This is because we have no national strategy, no plan for testing, no plan for rebuilding infrastructure in America, no plan for bringing small businesses back. Most of them are already closed. Luby's is closed. A lot of places that I like to go eat, big chain restaurants, are closing. Why? Because the federal government, and at the top of this ticket, Donald Trump, have not done his job and provided us with a platform for the nation as a whole. When you ask him what he's going to do about coronavirus, he says, well, we're doing good. We're rounding the corner. I don't know if we're rounding the corner with 85,000 people getting infected in one day throughout this country. I don't think we're rounding the corner with 875 people dead as of this past Friday. And this morning before I woke up, 7 people was already dead on today's docket. I don't think we're rounding the corner when this infection is still spreading throughout 30 different states. I don't think we're rounding the corner when 170 counties throughout the United States of America have 100% of their hospital beds filled and can't take another patient in. I don't think we're rounding the corner, Mr. Trump. And I think that this has been a failed presidency for this major reason of the coronavirus. And he don't want to talk about it. He's on the campaign trail right now. COVID, COVID, COVID. That's all they want to talk about. Can we talk about something else? No. We need to talk about something that's very dear and dire to every family in America, especially the African American community. And you listen to me real good. In the African American community, we are the majority of people that are dying. The mortality rate is off the chart for people that are dying. It's off the chart in low income in African American communities. And let me say this about this coronavirus. They're talking about a vaccine coming before the election. Now it's going to be here by December. Let me share something with you that the doctors, that the experts are saying about this vaccine. One, you got to take more than one shot, more than one dose. It's going to be 2 doses. The first dose and the second dose have to be far enough apart so that your body can build up an immunity for the actual vaccine. That's going to take a long time. We may be in the year 2022 still trying to get vaccinated. But yet the federal government says they'll have all seniors done by the end of the year and everybody else by the middle of next year. The numbers don't add up. Medical experts don't agree. We're in trouble with this. And let me tell you what you need to do. Every time you leave your home to go out in public, you need to wear a mask. Do your best to stay 6 feet between you and the next person, and wash your hands as many times you can a day for more than 20 seconds, and also use hand sanitizer. That's from the Centers for Disease Control. This coronavirus is serious. And when the President of the United States goes after Dr. Anthony Fauci, the #1 infectious disease expert in America, when he throws him under the bus and calls him an idiot, you and I need to know that we're in trouble. And that's the coronavirus, and it's a terrible, terrible pandemic. Let's talk about the character of these 2 candidates. First of all, let's draw the contrast between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. As individual people, just regular American citizens, Joe Biden has had 47 years in the federal government and 8 years as vice president, and have never been involved in a scandal, never been to jail for anything, never been charged with a crime, never had to file bankruptcy, never have been in court for anything, and none of the staff of Barack Obama, for the whole 8 years he was in office, he never had nobody go to jail, nobody investigated for a crime. That's just for starters. Let's go look at the other side. Donald Trump, racketeering type businessman, won't pay the people he owes, sue anybody that will talk about him, do anything under the sun to try to keep from paying taxes. The first 2 years in office paid $750 in income taxes. And listen, I've went after everybody he can politically. You say one thing about him, he goes after you. He degrades women. Any man that says he would take his hand and put it in the private place of a woman, I have no respect for. Why? I have a mother, I have a wife, and I have daughters, I have aunts, and I have cousins that are very dear to me, and distant relatives and church members and people that I work with in the ministry. No way I could ever substantiate or stand behind a man that will publicly say he'll grope a woman or do whatever he can to her. These are his words, not mine. And then second of all, let's just go and look a little bit deeper. Let's go look at some of the people that have been actually imprisoned and given prison sentences out of his administration. One is personal lawyer, his campaign manager. I mean, come on, y'all. People that work in the intelligence agencies that was charged with crimes. People close to him are doing prison sentences. He pardoned some of them. It's a shame that you and I are here dealing with a person of this type of character and integrity. And we've got people saying, oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, you go ahead. I'm talking to people that want to know the truth. And let me tell you something else. God ain't choosing no presidents. He ain't into politics. God ain't never choose the president. He's not into politics. You know why? Because political operatives are run by majority vote. Okay? Politics, the federal government is ran by majority vote. The church is a theocracy, not a democracy. Democracy go by majority vote. Theocracy goes by the will and the plan of God. That's why I hate to see churches that vote pastors in and out of churches. That's not their role. Where you get that from? Jeremiah 3:15 says, God says, I give you pastors after my own heart to feed you with knowledge and understanding. God says he's the one that will give us send pastors. It ain't that we vote them in or out. So let's not get this twisted, and let's not bring things that are happening in the world into the church, because God is running a good ship. And he's got good church leaders like you and I that know how to hear him and want to do things that are expedient in the sight of him. Next up, I want to talk about the choices in policy. We've talked about the coronavirus. We've talked about the character of the candidates. I'm giving you my pitch for why I am endorsing and supporting and have already voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for the highest office in the land. Choices in policy. Let me explain this to you. That new Supreme Court justice that's going to be seated before this election was preordained to do that by Donald Trump and the Republicans because, one, he wants to contest the election if it's close. That's why you and I need to go to the polls, and I already have, and vote. Vote him out of office. It's got to be clear-cut. It can't be close. It's got to be a landslide. It's got to be, he can't question anything. So we've got to go in groves. If it's going to be close, Russia, Iran, and China is already involved with this election, already election interference. They already got conspiracy theories out there already about this election, about how they're going to contest the election, how he have already said that he won't accept it unless he win. He's already said it's rigged against him already. So he's already got his line of attacks laid out. So let's look at these choice policies. But that Supreme Court that Supreme Court justice being voted to the Supreme Court prior to this election gives them a 6-3 advantage or a 5-4 advantage as far as the Affordable Care Act. That's going to be heard November the 10th. Donald Trump knows that. If it's one thing he wants to do worse than anything else in the world, and that is to kill the Affordable Care Act, not because it's not a good act, not because it didn't create insurance for more than 20,000 people, and once it's dead, they won't be on insurance no more. He wants to kill it simply because he's got a vendetta with Barack Obama. Why? Because he's a racist, and he can't stand black people, and Barack Obama is black and intelligent and smart, and is a Harvard law scholar, and he can't deal with that. So what you're going to do, you're going to take it upon yourself to take 20 million people off of health care because you disagree with another politician because of his race. These are choices in policy. These are things that are coming up that's going to be voted on in the Supreme Court that could possibly affect the lives of low-income minority people. Listen, and when I say minority, I'm not just talking about blacks. I'm talking about whites too. They're in the minority, especially if they're low income, especially if they're, under the, near the poverty line. They're in trouble too. We're supporting everybody in this effort because we want this thing to be like it should be. One nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. It's not that way, but we want to make it that way. Last but not least, let me say something about color, people of color in America. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, none of these folks have got justice. The Justice Department have worked too slow. The Breonna Taylor case has been horrific. For nobody to be charged with taking the life of this young black African-American woman that had a great, great opportunity to do things in the sight of God. Let me just share this with you, people of color in America. The playing field is not level. It's not equal for any of us. And I want you to know that I'm standing with you to go to the polls and vote people out of office that want to try to keep their foot on the neck of innocent people because of our race, color, creed, national origin, or what have you. They need to go. And you and I need to get together in this conversation. And I'm going to share this with you, just a little bit of it. This is my letter from, so you don't think I'm joking, this is my letter from the NAACP, where we've communicated often, where I'm one of their volunteers to call and try to get disenfranchised voters to the polls where they can vote where they can do the things that are expedient in the sight of all people and all men. This is a real fight. There's some things here that where they tell you how to volunteer. They tell you what to say to people. It's a great thing. I'm also involved with LeBron James, More Than a Vote campaign. He have done some great things for the people of color, including him and Barack Obama coming together, and Chris Paul, a couple of other athletes, and sharing their platform to open these arenas up so we can have drive-through voting and we can have people vote safe. People, this election is serious, and I never weigh in from a pastoral perspective, and having been for 27 years, I've never weighed in on politics the way that I'm involved now, because this involves many of you, especially senior citizens, Medicare, Medicaid. These things are in the balance. If these people take power and take control, it's going to be too late to say, uh-oh, we should have done something. What I'm telling you to do is go to the polls and vote. Take this information with you. Some of the things I've mentioned, you can go fact check them. We've got a man in the office now that have told more than 20,000 lies that have been fact checked over the course of his presidency, and he's asking to keep a job. I don't know nobody in America that need to lose their job more than Donald Trump. He's done a terrible job, and I know it, and you know it, and everybody know it. And because people want to support him, it's their own platform. I don't have no, nothing against people that support him. I don't. And I'm telling you why I don't. And whether you care about why I don't doesn't matter to me. I'm doing what I believe is right as a citizen, and I'm on the front lines working, because election night, if it don't go right, I can't say that I didn't do my part. I did my part. All I'm asking you to do is a small part. Get up and go to the polls. Find a place. You can vote early in every state now. Find a place to go and cast your vote. And let's get this man out of office so that we can see this country get back on course. Joe Biden will work across the aisles. Him and Lindsey Graham used to be good friends. Him and John McCain were good friends. All of these people that was in politics, that was in Washington, could work together. They could compromise. And yes, there's some things I don't agree with Joe about. I don't like the 1994 crime bill either. But I can tell you this, when he was asked about it, let me tell you what I like more than anything. He said it was a mistake and it shouldn't have never went that far. One of the things God taught me in 1 John 1:9, that if I confess my sins, he is faithful and just to forgive me and cleanse me of all unrighteousness. I thank God for you in this time this morning. I hope that you'll share this with as many friends as you can. Give them an opportunity to hear what I've just spoken on. And many of you, I'm really speaking to my followers and really nobody else. I don't care what nobody else think or who they're following. I'm speaking to my people and my flock, because you have a right to know where I stand. And if you agree with that stand, we're on the same page. If not, we part ways, or we just do what we've been doing. I've always pastored Democrats and Republicans. I've always pastored conservative. I've always had a mixed flock. And let me tell you something. They will tell you straight up, I don't put no signs in my yards. I don't put no signs at the church, because the church is its own entity. But I'm coming to you as a citizen, people that I know, people that I love, family members and associates. And I'm sharing what I believe can help this country get back to where it needs to be. And I would never, ever come to you in the name of anything except it be in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, which I'm hoping you and many Americans like you would decide to cast your ballot for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for the presidency of the United States of America. Look, y'all have a good day. It's been a blessing. I'm enjoying my day off. God bless y'all today.